one of the biggest things for me is customer satisfaction. So what we did is we printed a copy of the recorded deed. We put all of the websites and all of the information you need with a formal letter and a business card and mailed it to every buyer that we closed in the state of Florida last year. And it'll get to them this week, and they'll be able to open it up. They have their deed handy. You know, we get paid to do a service, and that service should be full tilt. And I'm all about the consumer.
SNS Global acts as a one-stop shop for residential and commercial relocation. Zaha Hadid is an iconic architect. So we're bringing that type of architecture to the city, which is also attracting a lot more buyers.
Justin, what made you choose Cardinal Financial to build your team?
The overall team concept that we have from a corporate standpoint, the state-of-the-art technology and origination software for Octane itself, as well as the overall service.
Okay, so what makes you different from the big banks?
The fact that we only do residential mortgage lending. We do not do car loans. We do not do commercial loans. We really only do residential mortgage lending, and we have a bigger product set than any bank.
Brad, if you wanted to go hike with me, you can take me to Onion Canyon.
This is whoa.
I can't break an ankle. I'm a mom. I have responsibilities. So now you already see like the size of it.
It's actually going to be a huge tree right here, and you'll be able to see all the way up. I like that you're so into this. I like that you're learning so much.
I like to get down and dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I've always had a passion for real estate. Since a young age, I remember biking with my friends and discussing the different values of homes. And I realized that I can really help people with my expertise. And that's what I love about it. It's really helping others and adding value to them.
I'm Talita Pinheiro with Elite Sales Group. We are the exclusive community, The Oaks in Boca Raton. This house is pure luxury. I'm so glad to show you my favorite part of this house. This kitchen is amazing. It's a dream for any chef. You have the white quartz countertop, all the finishes, everything is really an upgrade. It's wood cabinets everywhere. The refrigerator is from Sub-Zero, and the gas stove, for the ones that cook, you know, gas is much better than anything else, and it's also from Wolf, as the stove and microwave are. Like I said, I think about everything here. Have you ever seen a walk-in pantry? Look at this.
So I'm excited to have you guys one-on-one so I can showcase you Sky 230 all-inclusively here, especially with this third floor. So when you purchase a residence at Sky 230, we only have a few left and they're all around 2 million, 1.95 to 2.35. And you get the choice to have 4 bedrooms or 3. And here, what Michelle did was she created 3 bedrooms with this beautiful open loft space, which is ideal if you have a child who lives with you that kind of wants their own space. So look what she created here. This is so great. So all of the bedrooms at Sky 230 are en suite, meaning they all have their own private bath. And if you saw out there, the living area has their own bath. But look at this huge bedroom and the beautiful view and light that comes in here. I can see the ocean right outside the window, which is amazing.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's Glenn Asher, the title guy. Thank you for joining us for our next edition of State of the Marketing. Today we bring you some of South Florida's top agents to join us and talk about the state of the market. So once again, I'm Ask the Title Guy. This whole episode will be featured on my page at The Title Guy, where you are now. It'll also be with the rest of the state of the marketing on my website to follow at askthetitleguy.com. So let's get started with some introductions. So I'd like to welcome to the panel Talita Pinheiro. Talita, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
How are you?
Good, good. Next, we bring you our relocation specialist, Samantha Scalzo. Hey, Samantha.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We bring Compass's own Angel. How are you, Angel Nicolas?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Looking forward to hearing from you. Our Hollywood star from Selling Sunset and Douglas Elliman, Maya Vander. Hey, Maya.
Hi. Hi.
We have Erika Axani, who represents Broward County from Florida Luxurious Properties. Hey, Erika.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
And finally, we bring you Justin Busch from Cardinal Financial, one of the nation's top lending institutions. Hey, Justin.
Hey, how are you guys? Good morning.
So once again, we're going to ask a few questions of the panel and get some input from some of South Florida's leading agents from the same market, different backgrounds, different types of business models, and we're going to get their take on the market right now, how they're handling the COVID situation of previous months, what they're doing to benefit their business. A little bit about myself. I'm Glenn Asher, the title guy from Kensington Vanguard. We are a national title company located. I'm located here in Miami. We have offices in Palm Beach and in Broward County in Las Olas. We also have offices around the country, corporate New York, New Jersey, Texas, Arizona, Maryland, DC, Virginia. And we are a full service national title company with tons of experience. We are actually the largest privately held company in the US for both commercial and residential. And I'm proud to say that over the last 3.5 years, I've been able to build the business to be the #1 agent for Stewart Title, our underwriter in the state of Florida. And we are top 10 with Old Republic in the state of Florida as well. So a lot of hard work goes into this. And here we are. So let's get it going. We'll start off with Talita. And this is a general question for the whole panel to answer. So Talita, what makes you different than every other agent? And Justin, when it gets to you as the lender out there right now, and how have you kind of used this time of disarray to benefit you and your business?
Well, when all this started, I saw a lot of agents focusing in negative side of the pandemic. So I stepped out of the situation and I saw that there was a huge opportunity. I believe in opportunities on the crisis like that. So, my market is Brazilian. I know there's a huge political crisis there too. So I decided to convert them in sellers. And I started using the different strategies and using the technology to also help my team to be all creative on what we can do right now. So I'll be participating in different webinars, social medias, and lives, putting myself out there. What I think is the silver line on all this is when we go to the other side, coming back for the real reality, we're going to be much more prepared because we're going to be able to take all this technology to us and be able to be more productive and improve the process from beginning to end. I don't believe that right now we're going to be running to do meetings. Well, we can do this online, and all these things are going to be helping us in our process. So right now, I think I have this on my side, being prepared for anything that comes out.
Thank you, Talita. And I agree with you. I think that this is a great time to learn, to expand, to use technology to your benefit. For those of you that show properties to clients, this is a great way to show them some properties before you go out running around with them. And it just kind of bridges the gap for time constraints and what have you. So thank you, Talita. And we'll bring that question to Samantha. Samantha?
Hello.
What makes you different than any other agent?
Yeah, so we're a full service real estate brokerage, but we specialize in relocation. So right now we're really focusing on our relocation packages, which is encompassing the entire lifestyle of the move, not just the real estate sales side. We work closely with a lot of brokers. We're not in competition with them. Oftentimes we have the renters and buyers for their locations. And we're also building our own internal technology to specialize and streamline both the real estate and the relocation process. So overall, I think this time has been extremely beneficial for us on an operational, marketing, and management front, to kind of redesign, recreate, and come out of this in a stronger position than we left off.
And I think that you're in a good position now, especially since Florida is going to be and currently is a huge destination for people not only trying to escape as a tax shelter, but also for quality of life. So thank you, Samantha. Angel comes from us from Compass office in the Grove. So welcome, Angel. Same question to you.
Yes, here at the Nicolas Group, we focus on providing value to our clients. Our value proposition from our marketing tools, our prospecting skills, to me, are second to none. And our ability to ask the right questions to get to our clients' motivations and needs, and then taking action on what their needs are, is what I believe sets us apart from the others. And as you know, my background is sports. So I take my job as an athlete. I know preparation is very important, and that's the culture I've created around my team. And I believe that that's what sets us apart from the others.
Thank you, Angel. And I've seen Angel in action, so he speaks the truth. Next, we bring it to Maya. Maya, you have an interesting couple of years. Maya from Douglas Elliman and one of the stars of Selling Sunset. Maya, first, congratulations on your newborn.
Thank you so much. Thank
so
you.
Maya, I know because you're a client and friend that you've gone back and forth from California to New York, and to Miami rather, to film and still maintain what you do on the real estate side. So how have you separated yourself differently besides obviously being on Netflix?
Right. So it's been obviously challenging time to balance between LA and Miami. Thankfully, I have a good team in LA that I can rely on, meaning team associates that I work with in case I need to get something done over there. And same thing with Miami. So, other agents are great, but I think I'm just I like to get things done. I'm very responsive to my clients. I'm a good listener, and I think that works for me in both markets because, I'm doing a deal right now in San Francisco and I'm in Miami actually. So I think clients just trust me. So that's what makes me maybe different, but, it's just a matter of trust, I guess. And being in the show, obviously, been challenging to balance between the two markets, but I do have the knowledge of LA, California market for 8 years now, and then Miami for 3 years now. So I think that I use it for my advantage.
Thank you, Maya. And now we bring it to Erika. Erika comes to us from Broward County, dealing with a lot of the luxury market in Broward. So Erika, what separates you in this market and just in general?
Yeah, so hi everyone. Here at Florida Luxurious Properties, we do focus on luxury. So the destination location of our waterways, et cetera, has been very popular for us for a long time. And I think now as everyone's been cooped up, they're really starting to look forward to getting that second home. So our specialty, we know the waterways better than anyone. We have great relationships with our yacht brokers here. I've been here for 20 years. So as a mom, I have 4-year-old twins, and we talk a lot about schools when they make that permanent move. So it's really taking our one-on-one kind of special luxury approach and moving it to a one-to-many. We take our videos as we're walking through with clients, and we don't just share it with them. We share it with, all of our social media too. So it's been really great for us here in Fort Lauderdale, especially for kind of triggering that move. Everybody's ready to take off, get out of the high-rise condos and come here and look at the beautiful water.
I agree with you. Never going back to New York. And finally, we bring you Justin Busch. Justin's been a client and friend for years now. Justin, how do you and Cardinal kind of separate yourselves in this market and, clear up any misconceptions? There's a lot of misconceptions on the lending side right now that we can talk about more. But what are you specializing in, and how do you make yourself different than everyone?
I think that to everyone's point is during this time, what we really did is we, took a step back and said, let's focus on where we can really drive production from this period of time where everyone's kind of sitting back. So our focus was let's go back to the drawing board. Let's really work on our planning, our training. We even have been hiring even through this process. I think that Cardinal is probably taking on more real estate, more lending professionals right now at this time than any other lender out there. As far as misconceptions go, is that you're not able to get a loan right now, or that things are very, very difficult. You're going to need a larger down payment. That's actually not the case. Right now, you're actually just as easily going to be able to qualify for a loan on a primary residence or second home as you were 3, 6, 8 weeks ago. Some of the guidelines may have some tweaks that we've seen, but they're honestly loosening up right now. We're seeing changes on, from a corporate level, throughout the market as a whole. A lot of the non-QM stuff is still very, very contracted. We are going to see some expansion over the next several weeks and months to see some of these product sets open back up, which include your foreign national, your bank statement transactions for qualification purposes, or your alt doc situations. So these types of things are really coming back into the fold. But as Cardinal, we are a 50-state lender. We do lend in all 50 states. We do a lot of, even out of our offices, which are primarily Orlando and South Florida. We're doing a lot of business in the Northeast right now as well from a refinance standpoint, even purchase.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. So everyone was kind of at bay for a little while. And I think that people are still at bay because of travel restrictions and people just, a little frightful to travel. It's opening up a little bit, as we know. Have you seen an increase in productivity with buyers and sellers? And, obviously COVID forces people to want to get out of where they are, being quarantined for a while. How are you changing your marketing strategies and ideas to adhere to these times where people are a little bit in disarray, where they're home, where they're managing, their children at home and homeschooling and what have you, because there definitely has been an uptick in the South Florida market. And I think personally that it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And we're going to be busier than ever, which is a great thing. So we'll start off with Talita again. Talita?
Well, what I see is a high demand, especially for single family homes. I was not surprised, but I feel like everybody was inside of their apartments and feel like they need more space. So a lot of people are start looking for. I use a lot of the coming soon. That's something that new that the MLS just launched. And I started marketing my properties before I even put an MLS. And I got everything under contract, a couple of properties under contract before going to the MLS. So I even had a conversation with Justin another day. I understand that a lot of people have the problem of traveling and all these restrictions, but we are right now in the virtual showing. A lot of people are more online on the internet, and people are just going to see properties if they really like. They're not going to risk themselves, or they're worried about the COVID still, so they just go for the properties that they really like. So they're more qualified, and I think this is all beneficial. So if you understand, like people right now are really worried about the humanized side of it. So I called a lot of my clients just to check on them to see how they are. And, they felt different because most of the agents are just not even calling the clients or just disappearing. And when I call them, you talk about how they feel, how their family is, and everything comes up, the selling of the property or the buying of a new property. I also see that Justin was saying that the low rates also it's helping a lot of the demand right now. And the New Yorkers and people from up north are coming a lot. So I think I agree with you. It's going to be a great moment for us. We're going to be in high demand here in Florida, and I'm really ready for that.
Makes two of us. So, Samantha, as a rental specialist, quote unquote, obviously you do other business besides that, but this is a perfect storm for you, I would think.
Yeah, so initially there was a decrease. I think buyers were on hold. There was uncertainty. They were a little nervous. sellers pulled a lot of listings off the market. A lot of these top brokers, I'm sure, can attest to low inventory. So right now we're seeing actually an increase. It's picking back up again. People are feeling stable. All my friends from Connecticut and New York are calling me for second homes. The rental market seems to be pretty much on fire. We're renting properties in 24, 48 hours without people seeing them, just like Talita said, to piggyback off of the virtual tours. And we're saving people a lot of time because they can see everything digitally. And if they're actually really serious, they'll schedule a second, third showing. I'm finding a lot of the city dwellers are now moving into suburban neighborhoods, which is helpful for the single family home market. And South Florida is easy to sell. It's still considered affordable amongst metropolitan areas. It's sunny, it's beautiful. I have friends that are, cooped up in their houses in New York, and we're still walking to the beaches. We have tax advantages. So when it comes to like the marketing side, it's easy to sell South Florida. People just don't want to be sold. So we have to connect well with people, understand what people are going through, call them, see how their day is, not necessarily just try to, shove a listing in their face. So we're leveraging digital media significantly. 75% of people now are searching more for real estate prior to the pandemic. So we're finding that we can leverage that market and kind of push our marketing avenues to really get the best exposure for both our sellers and our buyers.
Very good points. I agree with you. I don't think it's a sale at this point. I think it's just a change of quality of life, and the push from condos to the single family homes in the suburban market. It's happening outside of Florida also. We're a national company, as I said before, and we're seeing it in New York also with changes moving to Long Island and Westchester, and a little more north to get out of the city. And we're certainly seeing it down here. So with that being said, Angel?
Yes, I actually couldn't agree with Samantha more. When this whole pandemic started, a few deals fell through. People were, a little scared about the uncertainty. And we changed our strategy to just follow up with people and contact people just to be there for them and add value to them, not just in real estate, just overall. How can we be there for you? And I'm not surprised of the growth that we've seen in the last few weeks and actually the last month. I was very optimistic about how we were going to be seeing this different. And for a little bit, we actually saw that the big homes were not selling as fast, and people were trying to simplify their lives. Maybe don't need the square footage, and that has changed now. Right now, we are forced to stay in our home, and now people want that square footage. People want that big lot. So we're seeing record sales in Coral Gables. Gables Estates, $30 million sale, $46 million. A lot sold for 7.7. We have some amazing properties now in the contract. So it's moving. We're seeing a lot of Eastern moving down here. So I want to enjoy this weather. Again, not being stuck in a condo. It's great. And I don't blame them for that. On top of all that, as you know, we have a very attractive tax system here. So when you combine all of that, it's just a no-brainer to move to Miami.
The old adage, move to Miami. So thank you. I appreciate it, Angel. And Angel's got some very large properties that he's listing and under contract now. So congrats, Angel, on your success. We'll move on and let's bring it to Maya.
Yeah, actually, I have to agree with Talita, Samantha, and Angel. Since COVID started, I had clients approaching me because, the stock market crashed in the first couple of days when everybody talked about the pandemic. So those clients wanted to pull their money out of the stocks and maybe invest in real estate because they felt it's going to be safer. So I'm working on a couple of deals, and actually they're pre-construction, which makes the showing easier because you see the property based on renderings. And so I'm doing that. I didn't approach as much as marketing for my clients because I felt it was a sensitive time. So like Samantha said, just asking people how they're doing, I think it's a better approach. And people that have money, I think it's a great time to buy, given obviously the interest rate are very low. So, and there are great deals out there. So I think if you have the money and God forbid you didn't lose your job and you're feeling some security and stability despite the pandemic, it's a great time to buy, especially in Miami and Florida. And we're talking about obviously overseas people and also New York, Canada, and Chicago and Midwest and other areas that want to be here because it's just more comfortable than being stuck in an apartment in the cold weather. And also, by the way, I have clients from California relocating to Florida just for tax reasons. So I think it's a great time in a way to take advantage of the situation if they can afford it.
Thanks, Maya. Another thing that people fail to realize in a market like this is that, buyers think that they're going to get sellers to quote unquote drop their pants and get a great deal when they purchase, but it goes both ways. So if you're purchasing and selling, you're not going to get both advantages on the buy side and the sell side. And a lot of people don't realize that. Another thing that was brought up is about talking to your clients. I think it's very important to be there as a voice of reason, not only with your presence in the South Florida area, but also just to hear their needs and listen to what they're looking for, and not just assume that just because of the pandemic they want A, B, or C, to actually cater to the needs of your client. So thank you for that, Maya. And Erika, what are you seeing up in Broward?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best part about being on a call with a bunch of top agents is it's the same here and it's great. And like you just hit on too, the buyers looking to take advantage of maybe a decrease in pricing because we've been on all-time highs for so long, and the pandemic got a lot of our investors excited. And while I was waiting for a slight drop, we've really just continued that all-time high. If anything, we are super low on inventory in our luxury market here in Broward. And while I'm out with buyers now, it's 10 houses to choose from and they choose right away. Whereas before they used to kind of shop and wait. But now I think nothing has ever felt as good of being a homeowner as now. I love owning my home. I love walking around and picking out what I'm going to change in this room today while I'm stuck at home. And I think that mimics a lot of my clients and them wanting to redesign and redo and shopping online and looking at homes and kind of dreaming of what they could do to create that as their forever space. So really what we're doing here is we're just promoting that to our clients. If you're interested in selling, now is the time. Please put it on the market. It is not necessarily a buyer's market that everyone's been waiting for. It is a great time to sell your home in South Florida.
Thank you. And sales can come in different things, right? You might sell to upgrade, downgrade, change areas, change school districts, what have you. So, the movement within Florida is a lot different also, coming from the more downtown centric condo market into the luxury space of single families. So, and Justin, how are you seeing the recent activity for buyers and sellers? And what do you think is going to happen in the future, and what's the most beneficial?
Well, I think that it's important to acknowledge that when rates really started to drive down, it even actually occurred prior to COVID being in full force, which was in February. So we really started making a big push from a marketing standpoint for those that need to refinance, whether that was for just a rate reduction or to take cash out for home improvements. And then it quickly transitioned into those who want to refinance for also investment purposes or to create liquidity to protect themselves just in case of job loss. Maybe they're self-employed and they want to keep their employees on. They weren't really sure how the whole PPP thing might work out through the SBA. So we really saw a substantial amount of activity from a refinance standpoint. There was a solid 6 weeks, I would say, where we didn't see a single purchase pre-approval or pre-qualification request just because everything really did go quite flat. That has substantially changed in the last 4 weeks. We've really seen an uptick every single week. We're seeing more and more and more purchase applications. We are continuing to see people wanting to refinance to take cash out for investment purposes because they did see such a substantial contraction in maybe their 401ks or their investment accounts. So what they now want to do is transition into what is a more tangible and secure asset base, which would be real estate number one. And so our marketing approach was really driven around that. We really wanted to develop all the content that we possibly could to arm the consumer, as well as our real estate partners and professional partners in general, to provide them with the information, the content, and the understanding of the number of options that are still available. People have more time on their hands. They're able to focus more on their financial security or financial health, so to speak. And while everyone else is kind of sitting back and waiting, I think a lot of people really took this time after the first couple of weeks of being quarantined, that they really could use this time to really be proactive personally and with their businesses. And that was really our focus. And so we drove it from a content, email, media. I think that we've probably done 30 or 40 videos between the webinars and just content videos. And we're continuing to make that push moving forward because of the amount of success we're seeing and being able to communicate and also be able to get the audience engagement that we're seeing right now.
Thank you. And obviously everyone has a good insight into their market. Although we share the same market in South Florida, the outlook and approach being similar, everybody's got their own way of doing business. And, communication is the most important thing. I'm a big fan of answering my phone and responding to emails quickly. And if you've worked with us before, you know that that's kind of a trademark of what we do here at KV and what I do. And to be honest with you, there's 50,000 realtors in South Florida. And by answering your phone, you probably beat out 75% of them. So with that being said, these changes have been tremendous in the world over the last 3 months, what we've had to endure. What my 6-year-old daughter had to graduate kindergarten in a drive-by situation in her school. It's tragic, but we make the best out of everything and hopefully learn from this time period. So I'm going to pose the next question. Talita, what have you learned from the past 3 months, and what changes would you make if the situation happens again or something similar?
Well, actually, I think that the past 3 months were really important for a lot of people. But for me personally, I took the time to do things that we as a realtor don't even have the time, or we pretend we don't have the time, right? We're always too busy to preoccupied to think of the important things. So I decided to make a lot of courses online and to get more understanding of the market. I got a little more involved in the politics in Brazil because my market's there and I needed to understand better. So I started working on myself and in my team, and I was able to, even though we're long distance or working from home, we are able to connect in different things, not only work. So I put new Zen time for us. So we all do yoga together, we meditate together, we connect somehow. So I didn't want to miss this connection in my team. I'm very a people's person. I like to be out. I like to be there. And it was hard for me in the beginning to understand how I'm going to be able to be there from home, right? So I invested on videos. I did a lot of things online, a lot of virtual showings for my clients. And, my clientele is in Brazil. So it was a little harder for me to connect with them because the exchange rate went crazy high. And they were, expecting me to come up with a solution. So I was able to create a strategy for them to resell this property, because with the exchange rate, they'll make more money, even if they sell for a lower market value, let's put that way. So I think when something like that happen again, we're going to be more prepared. We're going to be able to identify what was wrong, what we didn't do correctly, or how to use the technology more towards us, and also to understand that everyone was in the same situation. So everyone was looking for an exit or how to make it better or how to protect their investment. A lot of my clients have properties in Orlando, for example, and the short-term rental was suspended and they're super stressed. So all these things came up and we needed to come with a solution for them. So I think that now that we learn how to be in social distancing, learn how to be more online, to invest in videos, I think it would be much better if it happened again. I hope it doesn't happen, because I can't wait to really be outside hugging people and making the connections. But I think we are smarter on this right now and more prepared.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll bring it to Samantha. Samantha, same question.
Yeah, so I think change is inevitable. It's just the fact that we have to learn how to kind of roll with those punches and adapt to that change. So one of the things that I found on a business front that I've always focused on, a personal, was multiple revenue streams. So in the event that in real estate, we were told, okay, you're going to be a luxury listing agent, but in the event that market kind of dwindles a little bit, what are you going to do to supplement that income? So during this time, I think that's taught us to kind of venture outside of our comfort zone and learn things that are different for us. So we're doing like REO classes, getting ready for the foreclosure market, and investors, just so we're prepared. I don't think you can ever be too prepared for any type of pandemic or recession, but just to be ahead of the game. I think we're going to continue to learn. We're learning every single day, and going through this day by day, I think we're gonna continue to learn more. So overall, I think this will benefit all of our companies in every industry through technological changes and just personal changes and learning how to get through things differently.
Thank you, Samantha. Appreciate it. Angel, same question. What have you done, differently during this time, and how it personally also, a lot of managing business is also managing your personal life in a time like this, and children and schedules and what have you. So, what changes have you made, and would you make again? Just take it off mute. There you go.
All right, I'm on now. So just to answer the first part of the question, which is what have I learned? And I've learned that, uncertain times don't create weakness, they expose weakness. So being prepared is key. Like Samantha said, you can never be prepared enough. But what has changed the most for us is obviously these Zoom calls, wearing masks and those kind of things. Being able to show our condos has been very difficult. Our single family homes has been fantastic. But at the end of the day, we haven't changed much when it comes to just reaching out to people and being there for them and finding out how can we add value. I'm a big believer of connecting people and just being there for people. And that's the culture that we try to create here at the Nicolas Group. There's many things that we've learned from this pandemic. Like I said, we were already doing lots of social media and online marketing. So it's just now we're taking it to a whole different level, but we were already there. And what I do miss is just setting up meetings and, shaking hands and hugging people. As you know, I'm like that. Justin and that as well. So yeah, that's where we're at.
So just in case anybody needs a second income, we have a modeling panel today. So Maya, we'll bring it to you next. I know obviously your life has been all over the place, having a newborn and having a child already. So tell us what you've learned and what's going to change in the future.
Yeah, I learned that it's okay to also take a moment here and relax and spend time with your family, and maybe the priorities are changing a little bit, and it's not obviously like real estate and go get things done. So it's nice to actually have a little break, especially because I was in LA up until 3.5 months ago. So I do enjoy being home with my husband, with my 1-year-old, and obviously it was 2 months before I gave birth, so now with the baby. But also I took the time to do a lot of webinars and Zoom and just kind of like educate myself with real estate, with all these like online webinars. I'm studying for my broker Florida exam now. So I'm trying to actually take the time and just focus on that, on education with real estate still. But obviously I don't have the pressure of running around and showing, because we only start doing showings right now because things are slowly reopening. So I did enjoy that break in a way, if you want to call it a break, to just educate myself with a bunch of seminars and so on. And, a virtual tour and for reconstructions and all that. But I'm actually ready to be back. I called Zillow already. I'm itching. I want to get into a zip code, but they told me the zip code sold out. So
Wow.
I feel like it's a good time to get back in the game.
Yeah, you know what you brought up about changing your perspective and your mindset a little bit more, spend some more time with family. I think that's very important. It grounds us a little bit, and we're all in work mode, especially me. 24/7, and this kind of makes you reflect on things and family and the things that are important in life as well as work. So thank you for that. We'll bring it to Erika.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with everybody more, especially Maya. I'm just so impressed that she's sitting here with us right now with a 2-week-old baby. So I don't think I can ever complain anymore. But same. We opened Florida Luxurious Properties 5 years ago, and it was just about making our name. And we finally got to the point of where we're the #1 luxury listing company here in Broward. And when this hit, I mean, I kind of just kicked my shoes off and hugged my babies tight and just really enjoyed working with them. And we had the Zoom calls every morning. They're 4, so they're not complicated, but helping them learn to write their letters, et cetera. I got to know my kids better, how they learn, how to get them involved in the community. I mean, I kind of spearhead a lot of our philanthropic efforts here. And to go and pack food for these families that have lost their jobs and are having a harder time, it was really a great opportunity for me to be able to just slow down and really appreciate where the heck I live and my kids, and really do more for our community to keep it growing and keep it beautiful and keep it prosperous for the future if this does happen again. So I really enjoyed the time of just really getting connected and grounded, like everyone seems to be saying, and just taking a moment to breathe.
100%. We're always on the go, so it's okay to relax
It
for a
was
little
nice.
bit.
Justin?
I'll, as far as the last 3 months go, I think what we really learned, let's just talk about the business itself, which is the importance of staying connected to our team. We're about 9 people. We are 9 people, but we're in Orlando, and everyone's working remotely. We're quite fortunate in this regard as lenders because we can really do 100% of what we do remotely. So, that time has really given us the understanding of how important it is to stay connected. I think we've got, what do we have, 4 people here that are on our call, or 5 that we're all in the American dream. So Glenn and I really always spent so much time outside the office running around and being so reactive. So what we've really seen is that this has given us a little bit of a slowdown and an opportunity to really kind of feel what's going on versus reacting to it, so that we can start planning not only what we want to do in the next week, but what do we want to do in the next quarter and into the next year. So we've really learned how to settle down, understand the value of our time and how we spend our time. I'm quite fortunate in having an in-house marketing team headed by Liz Rubiano, and that's really given us so much opportunity to really focus and work together throughout this to make sure that we are really being attentive to the needs of not only our consumers but our community as well. We're co-hosting a food drive with Talita right now. So if you guys want to drop off food at our offices or know anyone that does, guys, please do so. We've extended it, I think, for a week and probably more at this point, just because it's a little more difficult to get people out and about. But, simple things like this. And I think moving forward, as much as I miss being on American Dream and being out of the office, the reality is that the way I've been able to connect with our partners, our consumers, we do an all-team call with every single person on my team every single morning at 10:30. This can last anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. We have a good time. We chop it up a little bit, and we also learn together. We find this to be a great opportunity to if someone's learned something outside the office or in a transaction they were working on, that was a great time for us to share this throughout the entire team, because we are disconnected to a certain degree because we're not in the same room always. So this is a great opportunity for us all to learn together, to really develop as a family and as a team as a whole. And moving forward, that really won't stop. We always had an all-team call, but because scheduling often conflicted, only 2 or 3 of those calls would really go off on a consistent basis, meaning weekly. So now it really is 5 days.
Thanks, Justin. So we're gonna take it to the next step in the panel. So these are gonna be individual questions. We'll start with Talita, and let's try to keep it somewhat concise and brief. Talita, you have a different business model than most people and most clients that I interact with. You deal with a lot of South American and especially Brazilian clientele for both buyers and sellers. But you have something interesting also. Your company, Everything Concierge, kind of plays into this situation and time period where people really need you, not only for their real estate transactional needs, but also for their needs in real estate and management. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the Everything Concierge is it was a company that I created to help my clients that were in Brazil. So most of my clients are from there, and they don't speak English. They don't know how to manage anything, and they don't want the hassle of it. So we create a model that I was just going to serve my clients and help them with anything related to the properties and to their lives in the U.S. So, we manage the property, we manage their finances here, their taxes, if they need insurance, and we do have a full service company. So with that, I was able to also leverage my market, because when they think about renting or selling again, that goes back to me. But I also feel that my clients, I hold their hand to the beginning to the end, and they're in my life all the time. So right now it's in high demand. My clients, they're there. I don't know if you know, but Brazilians were banned to come here as visitors right now because of the pandemic. That's really bad over there. So they are calling us, making sure we are taking care of the properties, and we add a lot of value for them at this moment, and they are more comfortable to know that we are here to help them. So I think this is something that really took me to another level with them. They feel that they can just trust me 100%. Whatever they need, I'm going to be representing them here. And talking about what's happening right now in South America, in Brazil, I mentioned already that we were already in a political crisis besides the pandemic. So you have an idea. We had 3 ministers of health ministers in Brazil changed in the last 3 months. So the Brazilians, the investors, they are very concerned of the instability in Brazil. The exchange rate went from 4 to 6, which means that $1 today is 6 reais, which is crazy. And so a lot of the clients, they was already invested here, are very happy that they did, and they're protecting their money. But also, even though the exchange rate is super high, people are really thinking that, I should have invested in US. The currency is very strong. So I think this is all, good things for me here right now. And I feel that my clients are, taking consideration that they should be investing in dollar to protect their assets. So that, I think all this is happening, and this is really good for me and for my business.
Thank you, Talita. Good business for you, good business for me.
Yeah.
So moving on. So Samantha, your reload business, we've spoken about it before. Where are most of the clients coming from, number one? And is this a time that you're going to double down on marketing and really take advantage of the influx of people to South Florida?
I can't hear anyone.
No,
Samantha?
I think it's mute.
Oh, you can't hear me. Sorry.
Nope.
Now
there you go.
Yeah, so to touch base on who we're relocating here now that we see an increase of people coming from South Florida are the people from Connecticut, New York, hard-hit areas. So we're fine-tuning our marketing efforts specifically online, digitally, to connect to people, people feel comfortable in relocating here. So we are actually seeing an increase of people from all over, but specifically areas like New York and Connecticut and people that I'd never imagined leaving Manhattan are looking at homes in South Florida. So yes, to answer your question, we're definitely doubling down on the marketing. We're focusing on connecting with people and really pushing digital efforts out there so we can save people time and money.
Thank you very much. Marketing has changed. Obviously, people are home more often nowadays, but spending less time on the computer and TV doing business and more time doing everything else. So marketing is tough right now. Everyone has their own approach. I have my own approach. But I think that at the end of the day, bringing value to your clients, as most of this panel does, is a tremendous asset for both you, your organization, and your clientele. So let's move on to Angel. So Angel, are there any challenges that you face in Coconut Grove or Coral Gables where you do a lot of your business with buyers and sellers? And how have you shifted your marketing strategies during this time?
Well, Glenn, as you know, there's always challenges. That's our job, is to solve issues. As I said earlier, the condo has been the biggest challenge. The condo market has been tough to show condos. And as you know, there was lots of inventory. But at the higher end, and I'm talking about $10, $6 million and above, there's actually low inventory. And we're seeing lots of New Yorkers moving down. It's the #1 feeder market in this area right now. And now people don't want the smaller homes. They don't want to be in condos. They are looking forward to having lots of square footage, big lots, have the kids running around. Definitely an office in their home is really important. So now people that were looking into 4 or 5 bedrooms now want 6 or 7. So that's been helping us. But again, showing condos has been a challenge. But other than that, it's been great. With Justin help and the attractive interest rates that he's been able to provide for our clients, it's also very helpful. And we are grinding it over here.
Love to hear it. Maya, moving on to you. So Maya, you're following as a friend and a client, your following has gotten tremendous on social and digital as a result of obviously you being a star of Selling Sunset on Netflix. So congratulations on that. How have you used the show from California to here to kind of grow your ROI and take advantage of the media outlets? And obviously the big question is, how do you do it? I mean, mom, pregnant.
A dog.
A dog.
Everything. I travel with a dog, a baby, but anyways, now I'm back in Miami. So in the show, obviously I'm in LA, and I spent a couple of months in LA, and I was trying to get business while I'm there. But now I'm back in Miami, and because the show is international, I do have a lot of people approaching me from different countries, which is good. And I'm going to try to leverage that for, focus and get business in Miami. And so that's helped that it's on Netflix. And, as far as balance, I had to spend a couple of months in LA, and unfortunately it comes on behalf of my business in Miami because I can't be everywhere and all the time, be available for everybody. So hopefully now focusing in Miami. Thankfully, we already shot season 3 for Selling Sunset, so that's going to be out in August, and hopefully with that will be more increase of followers and more eyes on my social media, so I can get the real estate going and try to leverage that audience, as much as I can. Speaking of Brazil, I'm doing an interview today with some Brazilian outlet, doing something with some Scottish radio show tomorrow. So hopefully that will bring me some clients. I think it's too soon to tell though. But people approaching me, you just have to narrow down the BS because everybody are a buyer. So we'll see how that goes.
Thank you, Maya, and congrats again. Erika, Broward County is obviously an interesting market. You deal with a lot of waterfront luxurious properties. How has it been the last few months? And I mean, the next few months, and what are you gearing up for with resales, listings, new developments? A lot of construction going on in Las Olas and downtown Fort Lauderdale. Luckily enough, I just closed a deal, actually funding right now, a big 8-lot assemblage for 72 million with the Oko Group. So they're going to be building a lot of retail and office space and condos and what have you. So tell us a little bit about Broward and the changes in the market.
Yeah, you're helping us also with our Lighthouse Point development that we have going on. So I think what we're seeing here is I touched on this a little bit before. We need more listings. Everything has been so busy here in Broward, especially Fort Lauderdale luxury. We've just hired a new assistant to handle some of our top agents. We've got a lot of contract to close agents stepping up. I think the beauty of being in this business right now is if you've been in here a long time, that you've got your clients coming back and ready to make that next move. So we're so fortunate for that. But I'm seeing a lot of luxury rental. So summer is typically a little bit slower for us because we have that beautiful October through March, April weather here. And our summer luxury rentals are already booked. So I think people kind of took the end of these past few months to stay at home and hunker down and have really planned to come and explore South Florida. So we're taking advantage of a lot of digital marketing, and we are back to doing some of our mail ads. I haven't done a lot of mail lately, but I'm finding myself doing a lot more print, a lot more direct mail, a 4-page brochure, focusing on, let's say, a new listing in the area. And I'm getting a lot of great feedback from that. So, we're kind of going old school. We're not only doing digital, but we're adding back our print, and we're starting to get a lot of great feedback from that. And hopefully we'll get a lot of listings from that, because that's what we need here in South Florida, in Broward particularly.
Thank you. And finally, Justin, where do you see opportunity in this market with the single family, short-term, long-term condo market? And what do you do and think about that others don't, that separates yourself?
Well, I mean, for those of you on the call and for our audience that doesn't know, we really used to have a substantial business model that was really focused on the foreign national. Everyone on my team, pretty much except myself and one other, all speak another language, whether at the time it was Spanish or Portuguese. But so that foreign national business really has gotten quite tight. There's very limited product sets available for this. I think that the biggest opportunity right now for, the realtors out there, and if you don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, team up with someone that does, but understanding that, regardless of whether or not the value of the properties have increased, maybe maybe they're exactly the same, maybe they're down in condo in certain areas. If someone purchased cash from Brazil or Colombia, they've seen the value of the dollar over the last several years really get so strong compared to their home currency. So therefore, if they are to sell right now, they're actually selling the fact that they invested in a dollar position and not necessarily real estate. So being able to transition the thought process, because everyone's going to think, oh no, why would I sell now? I'm going to lose money. But that's not most often that's not the case for anyone who purchased with cash from outside the United States, being the dollar has become so strong. So from an investment opportunity, from a listing opportunity, I think that's really the biggest place where you could kind of ramp up that inventory issue that we're having right now. Find a way to focus and get that audience to understand this. We're actually working on some content videos for this specifically in some different languages. So we'll push that out to everyone once those are kind of completed. Also too, you can still invest with as little as 20% down as a domestic borrower. So, with 20% down and rates, which are an all-time low, meaning an investment property rate right now is under 4%. That's unheard of. These rates typically hover to, even prior to COVID, and in the best markets were, high 4s, low 5s when it came to investment properties. So 20% down on a 1 unit, 2 to 4 units, you're looking at 25% down right now. and we'll still go down to 620 credit score on this stuff. So there's a huge opportunity from that aspect as people want to transition from their investment statuses or situations now into real estate. And then understanding too that the condo market inventory, we do kind of expect that to kind of hopefully see some more movement. I think that there's an opportunity to get higher prices in condos sometimes by selling an FHA condo spot approval. So to all the listing agents out there doing condo, really understand the condo itself. You don't have to have an FHA approval already. If the condo's got decent reserves and a 30% or less investor concentration, it most likely will pass an FHA condo approval. And it really only it doesn't take any longer to close that transaction than it does a conventional transaction. And as far as Cardinal Financial goes, and I think this is the one thing that a lot of people are hearing about lenders, is it takes forever to close a loan. It's really hard to close a refinance right now. No one's moving. I'm working with Bank of America or Wells Fargo, and it's very difficult to get them to react to me as a consumer or to maybe one of your clients. At Cardinal, we're closing about 90% of our transactions in 3 weeks or less. And on our refinances, we are getting about 60% of all of our refinances are not required to have an appraisal at all. So understanding that there are ways that to transact and move through this, market, there's a lot of opportunity that people really, really need to better understand. So if anyone ever wants to reach out to myself or my team, definitely please do so. We're here to help, and we want to make sure that you have all the content. And those are the big things. I think that there's a huge listing opportunity.
So thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you to those of you joining us. I'd like to thank Andrew and Sandra Fogel from VUP Media, who coordinate these Mimo calls and Facebook Live. We will show the full stream on my Title Guy page directly following this broadcast. Stay tuned. Follow me at Ask the Title Guy. Follow our panelists. Some of you are South Florida leaders in the real estate market and lending. And enjoy. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.